Sometimes I like to bring up the possibility of the government confiscating our silver. Some people say, oh, they can't do that or they would never do that. That would never happen. But it's happened time and time again with gold. And it's always during times of war. So, given the circumstances happening, I think it's safe to say that it's a possibility. But that's not the reason why I say silver. It's a completely, entirely different reason why they would confiscate our silver. So we're going to look at this entire situation, the possibility, and I found an article that's talking about gold and silver confiscation. Can the government seize assets? It goes over also all the different times throughout history this has happened with governments, and I think it's just really it's an important topic to talk about, especially since there's two different situations that could arise and how we could protect ourselves. I give away an ounce of silver every single month to one of my lucky subscribers. So make sure you subscribe for a chance every single month to win some silver. I'm also doing an unboxing over the next week, and I'll be giving some of that silver away too. You don't want to miss it. Now, do you think that the government could or would possibly confiscate our silver? Once you hear my reasoning why silver and gold are two different situations that could arise, you might think about your answer a little differently, because I'm sure a lot of you are saying no, they would never do that. Well, if we go through all the different times in history when governments confiscated people's gold, like the most famous is the Executive Order 6102 from FDR, claiming that you have to turn in all your gold or you'll get a $10,000 fine or 10 years in prison or both. That's obviously the most famous one and the craziest situation, I'm sure, but that was in 1933. FDR did that, Executive Order 6102, like I just said. Obviously, they'll buy it back from you. It's not like they're just going to kick down your door and just steal it. Maybe in, different countries during different situations, that's obviously happened, and not just with, governments, Vikings. But regardless, though, on a serious note, this has happened a lot, right? Australia, gold confiscation, 1959. We had Great Britain's gold ban, 1966. See any patterns here, right? It's always among the richest countries on the planet, and yet all confiscated golds all arose out of an economic crisis, right? It's usually in times of war or economic turmoil, lasted a long time. The shortest was 13 years, completely forbid any type of hoarding of bullion, given the exception of like some very collectible coins, but you had to send in a proof of all this stuff, like some collectors, but it's bullion, right? They're looking for the gold because that's what backs a country's wealth. That's literally what backs a country's wealth. That's how we determine a country's wealth, is how much gold they have, not how much paper money they print off. But history of gold confiscation is surprisingly common. It won't surprise you that in nations ruled by an oppressive regime, gold was a natural target to grab funds for the government. Italy's gold donation, Germany's confiscation of Czech gold, Russia. It's happened a lot. But the point is, that's not the point, right? Yes, there's a possibility that they could come after our gold if they need funds, or backing, the dollar, or just because how broke America is. Regardless, over $30 trillion in debt. But the silver part is what I want to talk about, and it's interesting. I'm curious because this article actually mentions silver in it, even though they don't bring any really silver into play. But this is why I think that they could confiscate our silver. So we already know that they're willing to put out a service announcement telling people, but imagine this, and this is how I think it would play out. So we need silver for the green energy revolution, right? And I'm talking about, this is a serious situation. Zero net emissions by the year 2040. We're trying to save the planet, right? Global warming, climate change, and all that, trying to go electric cars and solar panels. All that requires a lot of silver, a lot of demand that we just cannot meet, right? Supply deficits across the board is not going to be possible over the next 10 years. So if I was the government, what they would do is this: try to make it as if people would be the hero in the situation if they turned in their silver so they can keep building these solar panels and these cars. Play it that type of way. Don't just say, give us your silver. Make it seem like, hey, we're experiencing a shortage of this metal that we need to make the world go green. Help us save the planet, right? Something along those lines. It would still be silver confiscation, though, right? Will they buy it off of us? Probably. I mean, every time it's been at a standard set price. Gold was like $20 an ounce when FDR did that in 1933. But regardless, though, it's a possibility. And if you're looking at this situational difference between war, economic turmoil versus, the Green Revolution, right? It's still just as severe. I mean, maybe they won't look at it, obviously, war, power, politics, but I still see the severity of going green could arise as well. Now, no, that's not more power and money play. Yes, there's trillions going into it, but I could still see it being a possibility. And obviously, there'll probably be some ulterior motives as well behind just for their reasoning, right? They'll make it seem like it's just for that, but precious metals in general are stores of value and the only true money. So, is it possible? Let me know what you think. There is a video that goes along with this. I don't want to show the video on. I don't want to show it on this video just because I don't want to take away from it. If you guys want to watch the video, I will post this article in the description, and then you could just go to the video right from there. But it would be interesting because it goes into the biggest gold heist in history and how to store gold. And I'm sure he's not just talking about gold heists in the way you think of it. It's talking about from the government. So when we talk about this type of stuff, what would you do? What would you do? Would you risk the $10,000 fine and 10 years imprisonment or both, like FDR, and $10,000 in 1933? God could only imagine how much money that is in today's time. But would you risk it? I mean, there's probably not a real way. I guess there is a real way to find out. I mean, they could, if they really wanted to be petty, they could, go through APMEX receipts and all that, or there's several different ways to find out. But would you risk it, or would you turn some in and bury some in your backyard? That would be such an interesting situation. Or it would be interesting if they did gold and silver, or even just gold itself. I mean, think of when the Hunt brothers got into silver in 1979, 1980. They got into silver because it was illegal to buy gold. You couldn't buy gold at the time. So there's been times throughout history, if you know any type of history of precious metals, where you couldn't buy gold a lot of times. The silver got banned basically in 1980 directly from the Hunt brothers owning so much silver. They banned silver buying on the COMEX. You had to sell it. You couldn't sell it to friends. You had to sell it back to the bank. So they almost basically did a digital silver confiscation on the COMEX. But regardless, things are getting so serious nowadays with this war and with everything happening and the collapse of the dollar, and even federal chairman Jerome Powell mentioning that another currency could coexist or eventually replace the dollar. Who knows what could happen? I mean, we're living in crazy times, so expect crazy outcomes, expect crazy situations to occur. I mean, preserving your wealth, putting your hard-earned money into something that is a safe haven that preserves its value is obviously the only option for a lot of us. A lot of people don't even have that option because they don't even know. But what would you do? That's kind of what I wanted to go with this is, if they came out saying that you have to turn your silver in or you'll face 10 years in prison or $100,000 fine, would you do it? Or would you be one of the people that says, yo, let's help the plant. Let's help them build the solar panels? Or would you be someone that's saying, oh, they don't need silver. There's no silver shortage. They just want our silver for, to be greedy or whatever. It'd be such an interesting situation that would spark so much controversy, and oh my, I can't even imagine all the conspiracies that pop out of it, and just, it'd be an interesting thing. And I like talking about it because it is possible, and it's happened so many different times, and that's the scary part. If it happened like once, a while ago, but even this article says, it's more common than you think. So yeah, I'll watch this video on my own time. I don't want to watch it on here. I'm sure it's pretty lengthy as well. But I don't want to take away from it. It looks like it's Mike Maloney. Yep, Mike Maloney that posted the video. So yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap this video up here. Like I said, I'm doing a giveaway coming up. I also do give an ounce of silver away once a month to one of my subscribers as a thanks. Someone who's very supportive in the community, leaving very positive messages, good comments, talking to other people, just bringing positive vibes. And yeah, I'm trying to do a lot of stuff. Been posting a lot of different types of content lately. Warren Buffett, Jim Rogers, all just crazy stuff you never would have thought. Did you know that Warren Buffett bought 130 million ounces of silver, equating like $585 million? Like, I didn't know that. I'm trying to make some cool different types of stuff to really make people think. I'm also thinking about making like a silver stacking trivia game show where I could like live stream, bring people on, bring guests on, like 2 or 3 different people, ask them some silver related questions. Whoever gets the most correct could win some silver, stuff like that. Would you like that type of stuff? And also, if you have any other ideas, fun things that I could even engage my subscribers with, let me know. Comment down below, and I'm always open, right? I'm always open to suggestion because I want to make my channel a fun place for you all to enjoy. So yeah. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.